Susan Allen with the U.S. Pan Asian American Chamber of Commerce. And certainly last but not least is my good friend Hector Barreto Jr. with the Latino Coalition. All of us work closely together because we have limited resources, and we also support one another in our mission to grow and create wealth in our minority business community. With that, again, thank you to everyone that's joined us. We have over 200 folks that will be joining us today from throughout the country, and we're very blessed that and pray for each of you, your health and your business success as we move forward and lead our way out of this crisis. With that said, it is my honor right now to thank and to introduce Chanel Hardy. She is the United States Head of Strategic Outreach and Policy Partnership for Google. Chanel is a great friend to many of us and is someone that we're very fortunate gets it when it comes to minority business issues, working at her level within Google. So Chanel, thank you so much for making today possible for all of us, and we're very grateful, and the show is yours.
Thank you, Ramiro, and I'd like to thank all of the exceptional leaders who have joined today to make this conversation possible. One of the things that we've been talking about for some time at Google is the future of work, this time where we would be required to have digital skills and to leverage digital platforms in order to succeed in the economy. And I think what we've all learned is that the future of work is now. It hit us quickly with COVID. And so we want to immediately be in high gear with our most trusted partners and friends to be part of the solution as businesses struggle to stay online, to continue to serve their communities and to contribute to the economy. And so we hope that if nothing else, you will take away some tips that you can put into practice immediately, but also recognize that these trainings and pretty much any other training you could think of are yours to ask for. We are in regular contact with the National Chamber leaders and are happy to bring this and versions of it to your local communities as often as is necessary to be helpful. So with that, I want to share, start us off by talking about an announcement. Our CEO recently announced $800 million in support for small businesses in crisis response. In particular, $200 million of this went directly to help small businesses access capital. And so we have directed $125 million to the Opportunity Finance Network, which is a network of community development financial institutions, which are designed specifically to get dollars to small businesses that, especially that may lack the ability to access those resources in more traditional ways. If you go to OFN, you will see the Grow with Google Small Business Fund. You can sign up now to indicate that you intend to apply, and they will be in touch with you as that process begins to roll out. But we hope that many of you will take advantage of that opportunity. There are some additional announcements that we have, and I'm to have you hear those and also to go into the presentation. I'm going to turn it over to my colleague. I'm very excited to introduce Rob Martinez, who is a Google trainer and digital coach. Rob is part of a group of coaches throughout the United States who bring rich and diverse backgrounds in business to this work and have expertise in all of our products that advance the ability of small business owners to grow, small and medium business owners to grow. And so he has his own agency that he is a founder and CEO. He has background in government and business. He's been with us for 3 years, though he has 15 years of experience. So you're in very good hands with Rob, and I'm going to turn it over to him now. Thank you again for joining us, and we're glad to be with you today.
Thank you so much, Chanel. Good afternoon, everyone. Very excited to be with you. My name is Roberto Martinez. You call me Robert. Rob, my answer to all. I have the privilege and pleasure to work with an amazing team today that brought together this amazing workshop for you guys, the USACC and their slew of partners nationally. And what I want you guys to take away from is this is our response to what's going on in the world right now with COVID-19. So we're going to walk through different tools, tips, and tricks that you can implement right now within your chamber, within your small business, within your nonprofit to help you maintain a presence online and draw prospective customers, even if you're online, as well as manage your online presence and work remotely from home. So here's our journey today. We're going to talk about critical information. It is very vital for us to inform our prospective customers and partners about what we're doing within our company, what we're doing within our organization. We're going to talk about how you go about doing that using some free Google tools that we have for you. Next, we're going to talk about, it seems like everyone is providing some information around Zoom and presentations about PPP, financial institutions, marketing, accounting, finance. We're going to show you a different platform that you could use completely free for you and for your employees to have these free webinars, free one-on-one video conferences at no charge. We're also going to talk about different suite of services that we provide any small business, any founder, any organization that allows you to work remotely with your team. And it's a very cool tool. Most of us know it as Google Drive and the slew of different apps that we have within Google Drive. And then last but not least, we're going to talk about some really cool programming around Google Digital Coaches and how you can become a Grow with Google partner within your city and your state, and how we could recommend to you different Google coaches within your territory to run these free webinars for your chambers, for your small business organizations or nonprofits. With that, let's get started. So the first thing we're going to ask everyone to do is to sign up for a Gmail account. This is old hat. I'm sure all of us have 20 of these Gmail accounts already. So very straightforward. You go in there, you create your Gmail account, and that's the way you're going to be able to access all the information available to you. And the first thing we want you guys to do, and what we highly recommend we all do, is update our information online. It's extremely important to make sure we inform our prospective customers. There's 3 channels, if you will, marketing channels that we could leverage to inform our prospective customers on what we're doing in response to COVID, in response to the changing dynamics of the business climate here in the United States and in Canada. I see Rick is joining us from Canada, so thank you, Rick, for joining us. We do have programming in Canada as well. Okay, with that, Google My Business. The world's largest online platform happens to be Google. It's the world's largest search engine. And to be found on Google, we provide a free service called Google My Business. And this particular service allows you to register with Google and be found online. So whenever any company, any customer, any person that's curious about your business, your chamber, your nonprofit, all they have to do is Google you and your business profile will pop up at the right-hand side. Most of us in this conference call on this webinar, this is old hat. What we're going to talk through is how to optimize your Google My Business page post-COVID and during COVID to make sure you communicate with your prospective customer. And the first thing we want you to do is provide updates. We want you to get in there into your Google My Business page, update your business description, update your business hours, create new posts, turn on the messaging functionality, and manage who has access to your Google My Business to be able to respond in a timely fashion to prospective customers who might be looking to you for direction, for information, information on if you're still open or not. So we're going to walk through these step by step to give you a better idea of how to go about doing that. If you have any questions, all you have to do is go to google.com/business and make sure you're there to register your Google My Business online and or log in. So the first page we want you to show is your Google My Business profile. And this is your home base. This is your center of the Google My Business universe. It's where you can provide all kinds of information, update messaging functionalities, provide access to prospective employees on your profile. That is super important because that's where we're going to start providing information to our prospective customer. The first thing we want to do is we want to make sure that when we are on the business listing, we provide an updated description about our business. This is extremely important because anytime anyone is Googling your prospective customer, your prospective business, your prospective chamber of commerce, they are going to be notified on what your organization is doing, what your small business is doing with regards do is to manage our hours of operation. Obviously, the world has changed. We understand that. Maybe you want to update your hours of operation, inform them when you're going to be open, when you're going to be closed, update the specific hours, update if you're providing delivery services, if you happen to be a restaurant or a product or service that you're providing, inform your prospective customer. The other thing that's super cool about Google My Business is it allows you to submit posts. And these post functionalities are really useful and insightful to help inform you go in and you update your post with different images and different copy, informing them on events that you might be hosting as a webinar. You might be informing them on new discounted rates based on your new hours of operation. If you're providing delivery service, you might want to inform them through this post functionality. It's quick and easy to do. It doesn't take that long, and these posts last 2 weeks. The other thing that I highly recommend that we all do during this economically challenging time is turn on our messaging functionality. It's one of the best tools that we have. And what this tool allows you to do is it allows you to receive text messages in real time from your prospective customers. How does this work? Well, Google will take your phone number that you provide us and it will hide it with a Google Voice number, free of charge. We don't charge you a dime for the service. And now that phone number that you gave us is going to be able to receive real life text messages from your prospective customer base. This is very vital, especially if you have a delivery system or if you have a restaurant, which demands of your prospective customer to be able to reach you in real time. And the way it works is as your customer sees this phone number, he'll have or she'll have the opportunity to click and message you. You will then receive that text message in real time and can respond in real time. Best thing about this functionality is that it houses all the different text messages that your prospective customers are texting you and allows you to see the thread of what the responses were. Again, completely free, doesn't cost us a dime. And we highly recommend you download the Google My Business app to help optimize your presence when using this particular functionality within the Google My Business profile. One of the other functionalities that's very unique and useful is the managing system within Google My Business. This provides complete control to the owner of the business and allows you to pick and choose who you want to manage that business listing. And so for those of us who have not set up my Google My Business page, that's a whole other discussion. We could talk about that in the future with another workshop. But for those of us who do have our Google My Business page set up, this is the functionality that allows you to give different people within your company different management roles. So as you see on the bottom right side corner of this slide, if you're the founder and you want complete control, you make yourself the owner, and then you could give different functionalities and capabilities to different individuals within your company, which will allow them to, for one, update your company hours, create posts, receive messages. You get to pick and choose who has access to this. Now, a point of differentiation here when it comes to creating your business listing, it is very vital, and I highly recommend that if you are the business owner, if you are the president and organizer of your community that's created your business listing, I highly recommend that you yourself create the business listing to get started and then give access to everyone else. It is very difficult to have a third-party company create the business listing and then have them give it back to you. And there's also a lot of small businesses that we get called up on that say, hey, Google called me and asked me to set up my Google My Business listing. Google called me and informed me that my business listing isn't optimized. Is that you? We would never call you and set up your Google My Business listing. That's not how it operates. It's a third-party marketing company pretending to be Google. I still get calls asking, about this functionality. So very important for you to set it up. It takes you maybe 10 minutes, 15 minutes at most, and then give access to your team members. So for those of us who need to mark our business temporarily closed for whatever reason, we want to make sure we inform customers that we're still around. We just have to close down during this social distancing challenging times that we're having. So within your Google My Business listing, we highly recommend you go to the info section of the toolbar and you click temporarily closed if you need to be temporarily closed. We can guide you through this process on a step-by-step basis if you go to jeet.co/markbusinessclosed. And that particular page will walk you through how to set up your Google My Business page as temporarily closed or closed. Okay, let me see if there's any questions here. Okay, so Ramiro, I'm going to turn off your camera just to be on the safe side. Okay, fantastic. Okay, Google Ads. So as Chanel spoke a little bit earlier, we have an amazing program where we're going around and giving $200 million of Google Ad grants in the coming months. Certain caveats apply to these Google Ad credits that we're providing small businesses. The first one is that you would have had to have your company be running Google Ads last year, 2019. That being said, if you still are running ads or thinking of turning off ads, here's our recommendation to you as a small business owner. We want you to go into your Google Ads campaign and really think through your assets. And most of us who have Google My Business and who have Google Ads running, there's variations of Google Ads. There's display network, there's copy network. You want to think about what kind of verbiage and what kind of messaging you want to update and adapt so that you can definitely go and inform your prospective customer on the changing dynamic of your business. And so it's very helpful to recreate certain messaging around the new change of direction your business is going through. Maybe even pause your Google Ads. We completely understand the need to pause your Google Ads. If you do need to pause your Google Ads, we created a one-page website that allows you to better understand what we recommend. And so if you want to take a look at that, you could go to COVID-19/SMB-ads. If you have a Google support representative that helps you with Google Ads, you could definitely reach out to them. By now, you should have heard from a team member from the Google Ads team, if you have a certain spend, advising you what they would recommend based on your industry. So how to pause Google Ads if you do decide to pause Google Ads. This is the Google Ads home page, if you will. This is the internal page when you log into your Google Ads account. What you want to do is click on your campaign link on your page, scroll down, and there's some functionality there around the little green button. You want to click on that little green button and then toggle down to the pause. Click pause, and that will pause your Google Ads to make sure your ads aren't running anymore. Very straightforward. Now we turn our attention to websites and your particular website. Love to plug in the fact that if you don't have a website right now and you want to get your website up and running, if you do set up your Google My Business page, Google My Business will provide you one free microsite at no charge with a domain name at no charge. Now, this domain name is a little bit clunky, but it's free. So this is your first step if you need to be online and you want to create your Google My Business page and you want a website. Google will provide you a free, what's called a microsite within the Google My Business page. But for most of us on this webinar, we have websites. So what do? Most of you have done an amazing job already informing your prospective customer. Most websites have been updated with regards to information that's vital to your end customer, to your prospective customer. So that's what we recommend. Share announcements within the home page. We even recommend what's called above the fold. And above the fold just simply means once your prospective customer lands on your home page, what are they seeing within their monitor? And anything above that is prime real estate. You want to inform them at that point about the new changes or new resources you're providing, any changes of operation, hours of operation that needs to be provided, and a new contact information page or contact information number if you need to. So I'd like to pause right here. There's a few questions that people are asking. And they're asking very specific questions. And so what I would like to do is I'd like to pause any specific question. I will be providing my contact information and we'll be connecting you to other Google Digital coaches. And we are working with Chanel to connect with our internal employee research groups to provide you guys one-on-one technical assistance for these type of questions that you guys are having within the question bar. So if you could hold off your questions that are specific, we'll provide you a contact information number and email address so that we can address those questions after this webinar. With that, I'd like to get right back into your website and talk about best practices here, and then talk about how we can communicate once we optimize our online presence with Google My Business. We went in there, we updated our information, we updated the messaging strategy, we provided new hours of operation, we turned on our messaging strategy, we turned on our messaging functionality so you can receive real-time text messages from your prospective customer. Then we talked a little bit through the website, how to make sure that you inform your prospective customer. Now it's time to talk about how we can communicate with our prospective employees and our customers through Google functionalities that we have. So we're going to talk about our current Google platform that allows us to create one-on-one webinars and video conferences. We're very excited for this platform, and we allow everyone who has a Gmail account to be able to use this particular platform that allows you to have video conferencing calls. So as most of us know this name, we've used it in the past. I want to draw a point of differentiation between the two different types. Right now, by just having a Gmail account, you have access of being able to host a video conference call of up to 25 people at no charge. Google does not charge you a dime for using the Google Hangouts functionality, and this allows you to have one-on-one webinars or one-on-one business meetings with your customers and or with your employees or contractors at no charge, and it's super easy to use. We're going to walk through how to go about using that. Now, the point of differentiation is this. If you happen to have a G Suite account, and the G Suite is our enterprise service for businesses, you can host up to 250 people on your Hangout tool, on your video conferencing tool, at no charge. Google does not charge you a dime for using this particular tool. It's a very, very unique and very, I think, innovative way that Google is providing you the tools you need to run business as usual without costing you dollars on the operational side. So we're going to walk through very briefly how to go about using your Google Hangout functionality. So we want you to be able to start by feeling comfortable with working remotely and brainstorming with your prospective customers and even hosting online classes. We see a lot of small businesses using the Hangout functionality to offer these services where their yoga instructors are now hosting their yoga classes online using Hangouts. So this is a great opportunity to think through how your company can pivot using video conferencing to still service their customer base. So how do we go about using this tool? So there's 3 variations. We're going to walk through all 3 variations. And if you have any questions about this, please ask now so we could talk through the different functionalities. So when you set up your Google Hangouts, you'll go and you'll click on video conference, very straightforward. That would allow you to be prompted into a one-on-one call with whoever you're deciding to have that video conference with. The other way of going about doing that is when you set up a Google Calendar. If you have a Gmail account or if you have a G Suite account, this is your calendar and this is your home page where you can create different meetings for different prospective customers, different prospective employees. So how do we go about doing this? Well, we pick a date, we add a title. Most of us know how to do this. This is old hat for us, but there's a functionality at the very bottom of your calendar pop-up that allows you to add a location and a conference. Due to social distancing, most of us, I would say 90% of us, are going to choose a conference. We click on that button that says conferencing, and now directs us to click on Hangouts. This little button on the bottom is now going to prompt all guests that were invited to your calendar to join either by phone call. They can call a number that Google will provide to your prospective attendees and or through video conferencing. Now, I would say there's a point of differentiation in the way it would work when it comes to G Suite. And if you're a G Suite user, it'd be slightly different, but the concept still stands. The other way you could set up your Google Hangout meetings is by clicking more options. Once you click on more options, it'll prompt you to fill out your information. And when you send out this invite to your prospective employee or contractor or customer, they'll have the function and the option to join via Hangouts. And so once they receive their invite through Google Calendar, they'll go into their inbox. They'll have the choice of picking the choice between yes, they can attend, maybe they can attend, or no. There's also other options that we don't have the time to get into, but it allows them to respond to you instantly. And once that meeting is set to start, all they have to do is to click on Join Hangouts to activate that video conferencing functionality. And that's the piece right here. It's very straightforward. Once the time is set for that business meeting, for that team meeting, they'll receive a notification 10 minutes prior or 30 minutes prior to the meeting starting saying, would you like to join the meeting? So how it looks, once they choose to join the meeting, they'll be prompted to this particular page, and they'll have a little button in the bottom center of their screen, and they could click on that to join meeting. You could also join meetings through your phone. Most of us have chosen to, I would recommend, depending on all your meetings, and if you have the bandwidth and if you're not mobile at the time, to do it through a desktop laptop as opposed to your phone, but we even have that functionality using your mobile device. All right, some bells and whistles about the features of our video conferencing platform. So once you sign in and you log in and you're running your Hangout meeting, you have a couple of functionalities here. One is to what we call pinging people within the Hangout piece, and that allows you to have a chat functionality and receive and send out chats to all attendees who are joining you. The other functionalities are very straightforward. Most of us have used video conferencing before. Microphone, you could hang out, you could have camera. What's a point of differentiation here is that we have a functionality of sharing a particular screen. You could share your whole screen or a certain tab of your screen. And the way that works is on the top right of your Hangout page, you'll see that ability, and you'll get to pick and choose what you choose to do. Once you click on that particular button, you'll be prompted to either choose between sharing your entire screen and allow your attendees to see your whole screen, and or only see a part of your screen or one of the tabs. You toggle between the two depending on which one you want to provide access to your attendees, and you pick share. So these are the three different ways you can share Hangouts. There's also the Google Chat functionality that most of us have had in the past, where it allows you to receive a chat. So if you're on your Gmail account or if you're on your G Suite account, you could chat between members of that have G Suite and or Google Gmail, and you could activate the video conferencing from that functionality. So we walked through two of the three functionalities that allow you to have that video conferencing capabilities during social distancing and during this time where we need to keep that distance between us and our employees, us and our customers. So some best practices can make a good impression. Always have a neutral background, as plain as can be. Make sure you test out your mic. It's extremely important to make sure that your mic is operational. Most of us have headsets. Very useful, especially to cut down the echoing within the meeting. And obviously we want to wear solid colors. Checkers and patterns tend to wash out and might be distracting to your audience and or attendees. And I think we all did a good job today with that piece. Now Gmail, one of our other free, everyone knows Gmail. We all love Gmail. One of the things we highly recommend is for your business account to set up an automatic response in the event that you're no longer servicing your prospective clients or you did a temporary shutdown of your business. And we just want to walk you through very quickly how to go about doing this. You go to your top right bar, this little gear within your inbox. You click on that, you click on settings. Once you click on settings, you click on the general functionality, you scroll all the way down, And in that particular page, there's some messaging functionality that you can create. You might want to answer any questions that you want to provide your prospective customers if you are temporarily closing down. So something along the lines of, we will be temporarily shutting down till May 1st. We'll reopen May 1st. If you have any immediate urgencies or questions, please feel free to email this particular number or go to this particular page in our website. Something along those lines that, again, is providing direct communication to your end user, to your customer, to your employees, that allows them to take an action and not be left out in the lurch. Once you create that messaging, you go to the very bottom of the page and you click Save. Okay, my favorite functionality by far when it comes to Google Tools is being able to work remotely from anywhere in the world and being able to work with different team members. Part of this webinar, we worked with, I think it was 6 or 7 different organizations and different members. So there's a lot of cooks in the kitchen, which allows us to really get this work out to you guys as fast as possible. So we've all learned and love Google Drive. The moment you register with your Gmail account, you have access up to 10 gigabytes of free software and free storage space on the quote-unquote cloud. And this allows you to create all kinds of cool bells and whistles. It is our suite of services, very similar to some of our competitors out there. We have, let's say, instead of Words, we have Sheets. Instead of Words, we have Docs. Instead of Excel, we have Sheets. Instead of PowerPoint, we have Presentation. So how do you start? Very straightforward. The moment you sign into your your Gmail account, you'll have access to your Drive. What we would want to do is go to the very top right of our search page or our Gmail page. And on this little grid that you see here, the 3x3s, you click on that and then you click on the Drive. This functionality allows you to be immediately sent to your Google Drive and allows you to upload, download any files that you find online, share files with your team members, control who sees your files, who don't see your files, provide access to different members, provide different levels of access to different members of your team. So let's walk through that very quickly. When it comes to uploading a file, there's different ways you can upload a file. You can just drag and drop those files into your Google Drive, and that allows you to automatically sync those files on your Drive, and then you can pick and choose who has access to those files. If you want to find out all the bells and whistles Google Drive has, I highly recommend you go and to our Google Drive page, which is g.co/drive/upload. I will walk you through all the different functionalities. In this particular slide, as you're seeing, we have different bells and whistles here when it comes to our apps within the Drive. We have Google Docs, Google Sheets, Google Slides. We have 3 or 4 other presentation functionalities and different app functionalities within the Drive as well. So what's a cool functionality that I absolutely love is sharing, commenting, and assigning work to your prospective team members. So if you have a project that's coming up, or if you're launching a new initiative and you want different individuals to have access to it, you create your Google document, and then you provide sharing capabilities. You go to the top right of that particular document and you click share, and then you could type in the person's name who's going to have access to this particular document. You can also toggle between what kind of access they have. You could give them complete access, which allows them to go in there and actually submit comments in real time and type in and add pictures or whatever they want into the document. You could also restrict their access and just allow them to add comments onto the document. This might be because you're sharing this document to a client and you want that client not to be able to change the document, but just comment on the project or on the assignment that you're working on. And let's say you have a particular employee that needs to address the marketing component or the accounting component. What you can do is add a comment to that particular segment of the document. And how you would do that is you would put an @ sign and that person's name, and that will automatically quote unquote ping them. They will receive an email saying, hey, by the way, Chanel is asking you to comment on this section of the document. Very, very, very easy to use and very collaborative. This is especially useful right now when we're all working remotely. It allows you and your team to work from different places and execute on the project or on the presentation in real time. So this is the functionality I was talking about a little bit earlier when we talked about sharing. You have the access of providing different people different levels of access, all you have to do is add their email addresses, and that little toggle on the right-hand side that looks like a pencil will be a drop-down menu, and you get to pick and choose what kind of access they have. And then on the bottom is the section of messaging, where you provide them a message so that when they receive the email that you're providing them access to this document, they could see what you want them to do within that document. Very, very useful tool to have a collaborative effort remotely with your team. Best of all, it's free. Doesn't cost you a dime if you have your G Suite. I think I mentioned it earlier. It's up to 10 gigabytes of free storage page. If you have your G Suite account, it's completely free. It's not completely free. It does charge you because you have a G Suite account, but your space is limitless. You technically have an abundance of free space. Google will not cap you on the amount of space you use within your drive. Let me see if anyone has any questions at this point. Nope, no questions. I'll keep chugging along. We highly recommend for you to download the app, which allows you to access your files on the go on your mobile device. There's also some functionality of offline functionality when it comes to your documents. So that offline capabilities allows you to work on your document in the event that you're traveling. Now, this is very useful if you're traveling on a constant basis. I know a lot of the chambers on this call are always on the go, are going to national conferences, regional conferences, are traveling on the plane. And sometimes we need to get our work done. As a small business owner, you're always on the go. This functionality allows you to actually work on your document offline. And what this means is that you'll be able to access your documents regardless if you have internet access or don't, because G Suite works online. And so if you toggle this on and you say, I want these files, these particular files to be able to be accessed offline, that allows you to be able to work on them regardless if you have internet access or don't have internet access. A very cool functionality, especially for those of us who travel a lot in our day-to-day life. Okay, next steps and resources. This is the part of the conversation where I get to toot the horn of the Grow with Google team and talk through different resources we have for you as a chamber, as a nonprofit, as a small business. Again, first things first, we want to make sure that you update your Google My Business page and your information, pause or modify your ads if you are running ads, inform your prospective customer on your website, which is your homepage. I consider your website your storefront right now. So as your storefront where you're providing as much information as possible to your prospective customer base. And then the great functionality of our video conferencing service that's completely free for you if you have a Gmail account, allows you to have up to 25 people on the video conferencing functionality. And if you have G Suite, up to 250 people. And then being able to update your emails with notifications in the event that you are temporarily shutting down your business, or if you have, if you're traveling or don't have access to your email inbox. Okay, so now let's talk about a national program that we're running here at Google that we would love to plug you guys in on, which is, here's the slew of services. We would highly recommend you go to Grow with Google to learn all the different programs that we have available. We can definitely share this presentation after the fact in PDF form, so you don't have to take a picture of this. If you care for it, you can. I definitely want to plug in, if you want to learn different tools and tricks and tips on marketing, on Google tips, on Google Ads, on Google Analytics. We have a really cool free app called Google Primer. Highly recommend you take a look at that. If you did market last year using the Google Ads platform, we highly recommend you go to g.co/COVID-19/ad credits to be up to date on when we're going to release those ad grants for small business. Okay, so now I get to talk about the team that I'm part of. It's called the Google Digital Coaches team. Our initiative is really based on helping diverse business leaders like yourself, diverse organizations like yourself, diverse chambers like yourself, be able to have hands-on training and hands-on care from the Google team. I'm one of 10 digital coaches across the United States, and our job is to really bridge the digital divide between small business and diverse small business and Google. So our job is to bridge that divide and provide to you a lot of resources, a lot of access to Google small business owners, specifically when it comes to diversity and inclusion and the African American and Latino communities. We are based in New York, Chicago, Miami, Pittsburgh, Atlanta, Austin, Chicago, Los Angeles, and we are launching in a new city, Detroit, maybe not really Detroit. And so this particular tool and service is completely free to all organizations, all chamber members. You could set up one-on-one sessions with your digital coaches and create programming. And we're going to talk about the programming on the next slide. We have a bunch of free webinars that we can provide to your chamber members, to your organizations, and no cost. It's completely free, guys. It doesn't cost you a dime. You'll have a speaker like myself or one of my colleagues come on, provide you nifty flyers, help promote and get the word out on our multiple media channels, and provide you these types of workshops in English and some of them in Spanish, so that your end user can learn all the different tools and services that Google can provide to your members for free right now during this challenging economic climate. So with that, I'll want to plug in how you become part of that program. You go to growth.google/partners and you register for our program. Our program provides you those amazing resources we talked about a little bit earlier, gives you a starter guide, gives you access to all the presentations that we provide. I think right now we're at 13 or 14. We have some really nifty presentations on YouTube, on Google Ads, on Google Analytics, you name it, we cover it. We provide one-on-one training for your chambers and your organizations. We do upskills. We even do in-person events. Once post-COVID passes, we could come to your location and provide to you in-person workshop if you need. You'll have one-on-one access to our team with people like Chanel, myself, and our Grow with Google team to answer any questions. It's almost like having the bat line is what I like to call it, because you'll be having immediate response time. I think most of us respond within 24 to 48 hours of particular questions. And if we can't answer your question, we'll find someone within the Google team that can. So it's a really great initiative here. And we also connected to other partners within your territory, within your region, within your state. So you could inspire each other, see what's working, what's not working, and think about best practices. To get started, all you would have to go and do is go to Grow with Google Partner Community. You could Google it, or you could go to that URL on the bottom of this particular slide. Again, completely free. It's at no charge to you as a chamber. You would have to be an organization. This is not for small business. It is for organizations that service small businesses. And specifically, all small business in general, but the Google Digital Coaches has diversity component to it, because we understand the importance of being where our community is and understanding our community. All of our coaches are very much plugged in to our local business communities and our local minority communities, or diverse communities, for lack of a better word. If you have any questions about this presentation, feel free to shoot me an email. Chanel and I will be more than happy to filter those questions and connect you to the right digital coach, the right partner within the Grow with Google team, and answer any and all questions that you might have that are specific to your small business. I know some of us have specific real estate questions, some of us have some e-commerce questions as well. Happy to address those questions. And with that, I'd like to turn it over to Chanel and ask some finishing thoughts here. Chanel? I think she is not with us right now, but with that, if you have any questions or comments, feel free to ask them. We have about 12 more minutes in the presentation. If anyone has any questions, happy to address them.
Thank you, Rob. I hope y'all can hear me. This is Ramiro Cavazos again, and thank you for your great presentation, helping us with the small business tools that we need to help our member businesses collectively stay strong during this COVID-19 period. So, Rob, if we have any questions at this time, I know in the interest of open it up, anybody have any questions for Roberto? Well, it looks like you what's that, Rob? Go ahead.
It doesn't seem like we have any questions.
Well, Rob, on behalf of the United States Hispanic Chamber of Commerce, we want to thank you for presenting Google tools for our small businesses. I know that it's very important that for us that we stay in touch with you. We're honored to be Google partners with you as we move forward. And I want to thank you and Chanel for the opportunity to spend some time together going over this. Everyone has Rob's information, and Rob, you were excellent. I know, and we want to thank you for being such a great digital coach for all of us. Obviously, it's going to help us enhance our business. I want to thank our partners that were on the call, Ron Busby with the U.S. Black Chamber, Justin Nelson with the National Gay and Lesbian Chamber of Commerce, Chiling Tong and her group with National ACE, my friend Susan Allen with the U.S. Pan Asian American Chamber, and then Hector Barreto Jr., our great public servant for many years at the Small Business Administration, and the head of the Latino Coalition. So, Rob, thank you for allowing us as chambers leading the effort for small minority and women-owned businesses and our diverse communities, which quite frankly are the future economic engine for our country, for knowing more about the resources that Google can share. Before I conclude, Rob, and thank you and Chanel again, I want to thank our staff led by Leroy, Brianna, and Richard for coordinating all of this, and then for our friend Larry Gonzalez, who has brought us together again between corporate and community needs to put this forum together, our workshop. So thank you, Rob, to you and the Google team. We're going to do more of these in the future. We're going to stay in touch. If anyone has any follow-up questions, obviously Roberto's email address is on the screen. So Roberto, thank you, and thank Chanel with Google for the opportunity to visit with you today and to co-host this with our partners across the country.
Yeah, Ramiro, if you allow me a quick second, I would love to, as you know, we really care about what the community says, and we really want to hear back from you guys. So if you guys have a few seconds, I'd love for you guys just to take a quick picture here and provide us your feedback. We want to hear from you. We want to know what works, what doesn't work, what you guys want to learn, what you guys don't want to learn, about what is of most interest to you. So we want to be very responsive, especially right now during this challenging time. So if you can take a few seconds of your day and just submit this quick survey, it'll take you 5 minutes, it won't take you that long. That would drastically help us better develop our programming and better understand what you guys need during these challenging times. Again, Ramiro, thank you so much for allowing me to plug in the survey component.
Thank you very much, Rob and Chanel and your whole team. And now I'll turn it over to Leroy to close us out. We're right before the top of the hour, and we wish everybody our prayers for you and your families. Please stay safe, and please take advantage of these Google online tools for your business to make sure that we keep you out of harm's way, and that we keep your businesses working hard to make sure to reintegrate into the economy as we transition with our livelihoods and our lives working together under this new environment. Leroy?
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for your time today. This concludes today's webinar. On behalf of Google, the United States Hispanic Chamber of Commerce, the Latino Coalition, National ACE, the National LGBT Chamber of Commerce, the United States Black Chamber of Commerce, and the U.S. Pan Asian American Chamber of Commerce, we thank you for your time. We invite you to visit our websites for resources, technical assistance, and the latest news related to getting the small business community of America back to work. Thank you.
Thank you. Everyone, take care. Have a great day. Thank you, Rob. Thank you, Chanel.